Hi, for those who don't know me, my name is Laurel Ann Stark. I'm a mental health advocate, business consultant, and I have been running laurelanstark.com for years and years as a business mentor, business consultant. I help businesses and micro businesses, entrepreneur people, freelancers make their work for them. I have prepared some statistics for you around why working women, specifically self employed women, need to be earning more money that really surprised me when I first read them. And I think they will surprise you too. I just wanted to share some of these statistics with you. So, some of the things that I wanted to talk about, first of all, is with respect to the gender pay gap or pay disparity. So Maclean's magazine released a an issue of their magazine 2 years ago, which indicated that the pay gap in Canada, and when I say pay gap, what I mean is the exact same job or the exact same work and what women get paid for it and what men get paid for it. And in Maclean's magazine, they showed that in Canada, the wage gap is still around the 20-ish percent. And globally, it's around 30%. So what that means is that basically for the exact same work and the exact same hours, women get paid between 20 and 30% less than their male counterparts. Now, this statistic sucks. It really sucks. And I want to share as well that research has indicated that when we are looking at these numbers, we are accounting for things like maternity leave, we are accounting for things like time off for maternity leave, we are leveling out all of these other additional factors because a lot of people, when they're looking at the gender pay gap, they're like, oh, it's because women take maternity leave or because they don't ask for raises or whatever the case is. There's a ton of research that has been done by organizations as prestigious as Harvard, which indicate that women actually do act the same in offices. They do ask for raises more often. What happens is that systemically there is just, unfortunately, there's bias. So women tend not to get the first promotion. There is the glass ceiling, of course. So in the workplace, we have this gender pay gap. So this is what's driving a lot of women to become self-employed because you just can't get the same leadership roles, you can't get the same pay. Now, I want to just mention as well that the statistics I've quoted around the 20 to 30% wage gap here in Canada and in the States, it gets much, much worse if you are a woman of color, if you are an Aboriginal woman, or if you are a woman with disabilities. The pay gap can then drop to as low as 60%. So that means that you're getting paid 40% of what a white male makes. So this is the primary reason why women need to get paid more because they've been getting paid less historically for ages. This is actually these stats have gotten better. This is an improvement. So that is the first set of statistics I wanted to share with you because when I first got into business for myself and when I entered the workforce, I was under the impression that equality was here and we didn't need to have these conversations anymore. I wasn't aware of the fact that gender inequality in terms of pay still existed. And I'm here to tell you that these statistics that I'm sharing with you, they're within 3 years old. So it's very, very, very up to date. It's very recent, the information I'm sharing with you right now. So there certainly is a wage disparity. And what that translates to into, like practically speaking, what that means is that we are looking at needing to work an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months out of the year in order to make the same amount of money that somebody with the same qualifications in the same role doing the same work would make simply just because we are women. So that's really unfortunate. So I think we need to get paid more. So a lot of women go into self-employment for these reasons, thinking that they're going to have the ability to direct their own destiny, to ask for more money, et cetera, et cetera. But actually for freelancers and for self-employed women, the wage gap goes from about 72, 79% down to 58. So that means that self-employed women are making less money than self-employed men. So there's a number of reasons for that, but I just want to share with you that if you don't feel like you're getting paid all that much, it's because you're not. It's actually real. So that's the actual cash money situation. And with respect to unpaid work, this is still another issue. Globally, women do 4 times the amount of unpaid work that men do. And what that means is taking care of the home, taking care of kids, taking care of elders. So that's the case. There was just a study released here in Canada and one in the States as well in the last year or so, which indicates that yes, women are still doing the bulk of domestic labor, even if they are the breadwinner. So this is called the second shift, and it looks like unpaid labor. So basically taking care of the house, taking care of the kids, taking care of any aging elders, making sure there's food in the fridge, remembered birthdays. I don't need to explain it to you. You know very well what the second shift looks like. But what I'm saying is that it can take away from paid labor, and that it is still work even though it's not paid. Then this brings me to the third shift. So the cost of being and looking professional as a woman. Again, some of these statistics really surprised me, so I wanted to share them with you. That an average urban professional woman will spend $250,000 on her appearance in her entire life. So that's a lot of money, right? That's like a Harvard degree. And she will spend about an hour a day getting ready, which adds up to 2 weeks of her entire life. So that's expensive, right? We need to get paid more so we can pay for things like getting our hair done, professional clothes, etc. And these women are indicating that this is actually considered to be something that they perceive to be mandatory, something that they have to do in order to participate in the workforce. So that's very expensive. That's a lot of money. So what I'm seeing here, the aggregate of all this data, is that there's a lot of pressure on increased time requirements. So the second shift with caregiving responsibilities and taking care of the home, and less resources on the other side in terms of getting paid in the workplaces and getting paid as a freelancer or a self-employed person, and then more going out in terms of money being spent on beauty, etc. So another thing that's difficult with respect to being able to grow and scale businesses is access to funding, access to loans and investment, etc. So in 1988, up until that point, so it's not that long ago, guys. That's like whatever, like 30-ish, 40-ish years ago, you actually needed to have your husband co-sign for you in order to get a business loan. So yeah. So that really points to a lack of ability to fund your own ventures, because up to 100 years ago, women were considered to be property of their husbands. So of course, if you are property, you can't have savings, you can't have loans, you can't have anything in your name. So there is that history and that legacy of not being able to build credit or to build wealth. And women don't show up on the Fortune 500 lists very often. We are not in the lists of world's wealthiest people very often because of this legacy. And again, the reason I'm sharing this information is because when I first entered the workforce as a young professional woman, when I first became self-employed, I had no idea that these biases still existed. I didn't realize that this disparity still existed, but it does, and it impacts women. And these are some of the reasons why we need to be earning more money, because historically we have not been able to. And then the last point I just wanted to share is with respect to venture capital investment money. Between 3 and 10% of investment money goes to women-led firms, despite the fact that they tend to perform better than male-led firms. So 3 and 10%, that means that 97 to 90% of the funding goes towards male created firms. And this is problematic for a number of reasons, because based on the interview I just did with Robin, a mental health professional, last week, that the workplace is constructed mostly by the male gender. So where there is power disparity. So if we don't have access to wealth, we don't have access to credit, we don't have access to financing, we're being stretched thin with extra workloads in the second and third shift, extra expenses to be considered professional. What this does is it creates a very dangerous sort of situation around too many outgoing flows for energy and for money, and not enough coming in. And so this is one of the reasons that I think it's extremely important for us to support each other, to help each other make more money, to start to close that gender wage gap, to be able to create jobs, to create innovation in the world, so we can create the kind of world that women want to see. So that way we can close the gap with unpaid labor and actually paid labor. And if you are having issues with asking for money, if you are not sure how to position your offer, if you are not sure how to sell or market yourself, it is one of my gifts. It's what I've been doing for a living for a super long time. I encourage you to reach out to me. There are a ton of free resources on my website in terms of items that you can use to help yourself in any sort of sales and marketing or business capacity. A lot of free resources. There's some paid stuff. And of course, you can work with me one-on-one as well, or in a group setting if you need assistance with this. But these statistics really surprised me when I read them. I wanted to share them with you. So if you are hesitant asking for money, I want you to think about these statistics and think about how we really do have a lot of work that we're doing for free. We have a lot of pressure on us, and we don't have a lot of resources. So please do ask for more money. You absolutely deserve it. And if you want, I'm working on a research report currently to put all this data in aggregate. So if you would like a copy, please let me know in the comments. This is a retake of a video I did yesterday where the volume was horrible. So for those of you that couldn't hear me, I do apologize. I hope that you can hear me well now. And thank you very much for watching. If you found this valuable, please share it with friends and family, leave a comment, tag, etc. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.